Hi, I am Laura Diehl, and I am so pumped up and excited. I felt like I just had to share this with someone, so I decided to turn on my camera and share it with you. I'm actually getting ready to launch this book, When Tragedy Strikes, and it's something that only God could have done. I'm totally serious about that. In case you don't know, on October 12th, 2011, our oldest daughter died and went on to be with the Lord ahead of us. And it sent me to a very, very dark place. A lot of you have heard me talk about this. A lot of you have lived uh, through it with me. And one night, a little over a year ago, I was asleep and I woke up with this title in my head, just rolling around inside of me. And like all these chapter titles or headings or subjects, it was like it was just spilling out of me. And I had to get out of bed. It was something like 3 in the morning and write all of this down. And I took that as a sign that the Lord had a book that He wanted me to write about going through the experience of the death of my daughter and reaching out to other parents who have lost their child and helping them through it. Because when Becca died, I didn't know anyone who'd lost a child. The people that I tried reaching out to felt like it was leaving me in a place of darkness, and I felt very alone. And I had to fight really hard and hang on to God with everything I had to pull myself out of that black pit to be able to live my life again. And I did not want anyone else to have to go through that alone. I wanted to reach out and give my hand of hope and healing, however God wanted to use me, to reach out to grieving parents that got thrown into this pit uh, behind me. And so, as I started writing this book, I had no plan whatsoever to send it off to a publisher. I figured I would enter the world of self publishing. So I began to study that. How do you publish your own book? In the process of this, through divine connections and appointments, which I pray for, I was at a conference in San Diego. We live in Wisconsin, and I met a man named David Hancock. Well, David Hancock is the founder of Morgan James Publishing, and we were in a conversation. And by the end of the conversation, he had given me his business card and asked me to send him what I had written on this book so far, which really floored me. So I sent him one of those emails, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me," kind of a thing. He wrote back and said he was so excited and glad I had emailed him and followed through on this, and he already had an acquisition editor waiting for what I was sending him. The next day, this acquisition editor, who is Terry Whalen, emailed me and said, I want to push this to the publishing board. I really want to see us publish this. And in another 5 weeks, I found myself being offered a contract from a publisher, Morgan James Publishing. It just fell in my lap. I did not pursue this. And I was able to sign the contract on April 13th last year, 2015, and which was on Becca's birthday, our daughter's birthday, who had passed on. And so I began writing. I was on a deadline. It was very difficult because it's such a deep, emotionally draining subject, but God gave me the grace and the strength, and I wrote the book. It is now in the kind of pre-marketing promotional phase. It's going to be out in bookstores on July 5th, and that includes Christian bookstores, which I'm really super excited about. And I need people to help me get the word out about this book, about when tragedy strikes. I'm putting together a launch team. I'm putting together a community of people that either they are bereaved parents themselves who want to use this as an avenue to help reach out to other parents with hope and healing that they have also found through the Lord. And I'm also looking for people who just have a heart. Maybe you know someone who's lost a child. You've seen how devastating that is, and you want to say, yeah, I would love to be a part of something that's bigger than me, And I would love to be a part of getting this book into the hands of grieving parents who desperately need a lifeline of hope and healing and light and life brought back into their world again after the death of their child. So I'm inviting you to join my launch team. The URL for the website's kind of long. I'm not going to rattle it off here, but we'll put the banner up. You can see it, and go to the launch page website. It'll give you all the information you need. One of the things is you will get a free copy of my book, and there will be other perks. There's going to be some contests with some prizes. It is a very deep, heavy, dark subject. And the subject itself is obviously not a fun one, but being able to offer hope to these hurting parents is incredibly exciting to me. And so I just want to urge you to take a look at this launch team page and see if it's something that the Holy Spirit is drawing you to jump in on. And I just ask you to go there, check out the page. If you want to join, there's a form at the bottom of the page, just gives us a little bit of information about you, tells us where to send the book, and it'll give you a link to a Facebook page, because we're going to be doing all of our communication there on Facebook. So even if you don't feel compelled to join the launch team, keep us in your prayers. We really need God's wisdom and direction in all of this. So just God bless you. And remember, at GPS Hope, Grieving Parents Sharing Hope, we are here to be a light of hope in your time of darkness.